Wait.
Oh, look at what we got.
Where's your head?
Go.
I was trying to like squish his head.
My head?
Yeah.
Shark Tales Woo with Andy and Sean.
Yes. It's over.
Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, night 2 of the Trophy Cup 28. And let's talk about how you managed to figure out another way to just screw up a night in 22.
Yep, I just decided to get my fuel system plugged by a fuel filter.
Hey, but how about our plan for qualifying? It was perfect, huh?
Yeah, we talked about it and we knew exactly what to do, and then the motor just coughed and cut out the whole time.
So
no bueno.
I sit way down in turn 1, and you entered the track, and I didn't really pay attention. Like, I was hoping that the motor wasn't sounding bad, and then I sit next to Brent again. He goes, "The goddamn motor's not running," and I'm like, "No, it's fine." And then as you got to turn 4, headed to the straightaway, yeah, it wasn't running.
No, it wasn't.
I give you credit for putting 2 laps in, though.
Yeah,
Got yourself into a heat.
So it was funny because it kind of did that in Hot Laps too, but it kind of was making itself better. It kind of cleaned itself out kind of on the last lap. So I was hoping maybe
Your
it
wife's
was
trying
going
to
to
take
do
credit
that.
that it was crapping out in hot laps.
What?
You slowed down like before
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
else.
She was
Oh, yes.
concerned that you slowed down, and I said it's probably because you paid attention to the checker flag while everybody else took another lap.
Yeah.
Was that the case?
No.
Why'd you slow down?
Well, because I thought I had a motor issue.
Oh! Well, see,
But also, like, okay, I am the last car to go out and qualify in my group, basically, third to last car.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to run the track any more than I have to, so I do try to,
not wear it out anymore.
yeah, like, if I can maybe get one lap where I'm planning on qualifying, and then say, okay, maybe I'll do the Andy Forsberg. I'll just run the bottom here and
Fling all the gunk up all over. the
yeah,
place.
run the track in like a
Okay,
boss.
so the reason why I didn't go check on them after hot laps was because my job was to sit there and study about 36 cars lines and then report back to headquarters. So I didn't know there was any issues. Not that it would have helped,
yeah.
but
I did come and sit with you for a minute.
yeah.
We watched some together. And then, yeah, you were thinking maybe middle in 1 and 2. There's a couple cars that went through there and turned good laps.
We were debating.
You're right. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it. Like, it's going to be sketchy because everybody who kind of runs the middle has that hop to
Yep.
them. But to me, it looked like it was going to be hard to make it stick.
Yeah.
Like how you were going to enter it in the center, you'd be hopping, but then you'd have to make it stick and roll off in the center basically and not slide up in the grease.
Yeah,
So-
you need to not allow the car to hop you out of the moisture on exit. We have guest star tonight.
Oh my god. Show just went in
Wait a
the
minute, we gotta
toilet.
look this way, man. Hey, better than Gary Thomas. Okay,
I don't
sit down.
know.
Gary Thomas,
Um,
highlight of the...
So the
Decade.
problem in your car was a plugged up fuel filter, which wasn't plugged, like not poor maintenance.
Right,
It
right.
had been maintenance, but so you know, I know Brad was bummed, like he'd never seen that, but I have seen this exact same problem. 1985. That's how long it's been since I've seen this problem.
5?
So congratulations.
Jeez.
Yeah. So basically we have different forms of fuel filter in these cars. Some are in the fuel tank, some are in the fuel line. My dad experienced the same situation with fuel filters that looked good, that were clean, but would not flow. And if you tried blowing through his fuel filter tonight, you could barely blow through it.
Yeah.
The end result is your motor doesn't get fuel, and then that end result is P38 in qualifying.
Yeah.
Out of 40 cars.
42.
Oh boy, you gotta qualify. Couple cars.
Couple cars.
No, not so. In '85, my dad fought the fuel filter issue. That was when he was running NARC. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And he fought that for half the season because it would run, then it wouldn't, and then finally somebody said, you got to check those fuel filter cartridges.
So I never did hear your story of how you guys found your issue, because your car would just shut off halfway through a main event this year.
Yeah,
Did
2
that
times.
like twice.
So that turned out to be a crank trigger switch issue. So
It would just short out like halfway
I don't know
through a
what it
main?
would do. It would just quit working, and then 10 minutes later it would fire up, and then you couldn't find the problem. If your car shuts off and you're trying to diagnose it, when it starts back up, it's very hard to diagnose. But yeah, so that happened to me twice at Chico, both at SCCT races, which is not good for points. But yeah, so as far as we know, the problem is fixed. We've eliminated that switch, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not a problem anymore. We do know that other people with the same system, with the same engine bloater, have had the problem. I don't know if there was a batch of bad switches, but we don't have that switch no more. So, yeah. So thanks for bringing that up.
It's always mad now.
Now I'm mad. Okay, so your night was basically you made your bed and qualified.
Yeah, it's essentially over. We at least made a heat race, so there was a chance for me to kind of gain some points. But
You would have had to have an epic night to get more points than you did last night.
right, for sure.
Could he have even, so what, let's just say he would have had to go from the dead last to the C, transfer out of the C, dead last to the B, transfer out of the B, and then what would he have had to done in the A to get more points than he got last night?
Well, theoretically, to come from behind and qualifying, you just got to run better in your heat to get more points there to start further up. Everything is points
Yeah.
after qualifying. So, and I know Troy was not super happy tonight because he called the 83V as high point guy in that heat race. Tanner Holmes was glad he was not high points guy in that. So Tanner starts 6th, he finishes 6th. Dylan starts 7th, he finishes 2nd. Because of qualifying, Tanner is still high point guy.
Yeah.
6th to 6th and 7th to 2nd does not make the show.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, you
it's all
qualified good
points.
enough,
Yeah. You basically have to be at least 2 ahead of
Yes.
the next fastest guy. So
Yeah, that's how it, if you think of it
it's an
if
essentially a 4
the guy who
drop.
starts on the pole wins, start second, finish second, go like that. If you start 6th, finish 6th, and everybody finish where they started, the high point
Fast
guy
time's
is the
gonna
fast
be high
qualified.
point guy.
Right. But imagine that scenario, but then you started 5th, but you got to 3rd. That was 2 spots better than the guy was quick time. So now you finally outpointed him.
But you have to be the next fastest car. So Dylan, he's behind invert. You're talking fast time.
Yeah.
That is
All
intriguing.
those cars that go back to row 4, he's got 50 less points by the time he,
Yeah.
so you got to make all that up. It's 3 points per position. Can't do it.
It's so hard to have a good format because I remember
Sure.
the old Civil War format.
Loved it.
We all used to bitch about the 10 pill.
That was
this
great.
is stupid.
That
That
put
guy
18
was
quick on the
21st
Yep.
quick. He was on the front row of his heat race. Now he's on the front row of the main. So we can figure out a way to screw up every single format. That makes absolutely no sense. That Holmes went 6th to 6th and poor Bloomfield went 7th to 2nd, and he still didn't outpoint him.
Yeah.
That is crazy. All on qualifying.
All in qualifying.
But since we brought up Tanner Holmes, who I like to call Yo Holmes, smell you later, if you're a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fan. First off,
Have you ever called him that?
Yes, I have.
That's
called him
awesome.
that. I was super impressed with him in qualifying. He had all 4 tires off the ground, which instinctively normal people would drop the throttle and be like, "Oh shit!" And then as soon as you drop the throttle, the thing trips over itself and tips over. He kept his foot in it. He drove out of it, and I think he still had a pretty good lap. And then he actually went faster the second lap. I went over and told him that was badass. I love seeing drivers do cool shit like that. That was cool.
You know why I did that? Because he's
He's
an
a
outlaw car
go-kart
kid.
kid.
Is that what you do in karts? You never lift?
Well, you
Never.
have no suspension, so you're hopping regardless.
Okay.
So you almost have to kind of learn to stay
Just
on
get
the
used to
gas
it?
and go through it. Yeah.
you see a lot of people get the hippity hops, and when they try to slow it down and calm it down and drop the throttle, you gotta keep those tires spinning.
Yep, 100%.
So I thought he did really good. So
Then speaking of Yo Holmes, smell you later.
let's just get rid of you for now. You start the back of the C, you finish the back of the C.
I sure did.
Blah, done.
Night over. We
Okay.
did car maintenance early tonight. It was fun.
Well, that's what I told Brad that I feel like a driver, I would feel it. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you get a case of the how hard do I tries.
Yeah.
I know that's not proper vocabulary, but how hard do you try
Well,
to go out there and drive your ass off?
We can talk about that for the main. So like I was sitting 13th in points, kind of 12th because we lost somebody, 12th in points, and now I'm rooting for all the guys who did well yesterday to do well again today.
To do weller?
Yeah, to do weller.
I
But
was too.
what motivation do they have? Like if they already did pretty good points, like Kyle Hurst, like
Yeah, he pulled off on a red. I don't
Yeah,
know. if
he
He'd
this
pulled
is,
already
off.
changed a motor though, so I
really?
wonder
Yeah.
if there was a problem. And who was the red that it was whoever was right next to him, so I don't know if there was contact.
I'm not sure.
He was in front of whatever car flipped over. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
so I guess my whole point was, what motivation do those guys have to hang it on the edge and
When you're already in
push
good
when
shape
you're
for
already
tomorrow?
kind of in good shape for tomorrow? So, kind of
Maybe we should just go back to both nights.
add them together.
Dual nights, so you have to be an
Well,
animal all.
It's really funny
Both
because
nights.
I think I said that last night. I like that because
Don't like
I'm
it
always
tonight.
kind of solid both nights, and then I got 9 good guys in front of me this day, and then a different 9 in front of me the next day. So I'm still 20th in points. But if we combined today, that would have sucked for me.
How
real
hard
bad.
would it be for you to figure that out?
Not hard.
Just for the hell of it, why don't you make a sheet up and we'll just look at that. That would be intriguing to see
And
what.
press score?
Well, yeah, just put.
Someone actually said that on the radio tonight. Have you found that score button yet? And I was like, you guys all suck.
Been talking to Andy too much. So if you're not aware of what we're talking about, Sean's wife Lisa is the scorekeeper here, and she's always ranting and raving about how hard this job is. So
No, I'm not.
I'm pretty simple. Like, I mean, you build a spreadsheet, you install it in the computer, and then you just push score.
Except
and the
you don't
computer does all
actually
the
know
work.
what a spreadsheet is.
Yes, you design it on a computer.
What's it look like?
People do it.
Lots of grids and crosses. I took CS10, I think what it was called at Sierra College.
CS10?
Was that on a DOS?
It was computer class.
Then he paid someone else to pass.
No, I paid people to write my history report on colonial women, the historical. What the hell was it?
Jesus.
Probably a dog.
The
I don't know. Somebody else wrote
The
it.
historical impact of colonial women in America, and like, who gives a rat's ass about that? I got race cars to maintain. I'm not writing a report on this. So yes, I did.
So
Pay
you
someone.
found a girl to do it for you,
Yes,
right?
I did.
Yes.
Anyways, I digress. Back to what I was talking about. I think it would be kind of interesting to see
How long are you going to talk? Do you want me to go do that right now?
how fast could you do it.
Like a couple minutes.
To go do it.
Oh, Jesus.
Crack
Put
that
her
whip.
to work.
So we're gonna go find out what our top 20 in points is with the one night, and just for shits and giggles, let's see what the top 20 would be if we had combined night points.
Man, now we have to filibuster until she gets
Well,
back.
no, we're not gonna filibuster.
Jesus.
Oh man, she knocked our sign down on us. That's how pissed off
Hey,
she is.
you put her to work. She's pissed off.
Hey, did you put her to work this morning, considering it was your anniversary?
Yeah.
All right. When you say yeah, what does that mean?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. The main event was good.
A lot of cuddling.
Too much cautions,
A lot
unfortunately.
of cautions, yeah.
But I thought the track rework was better tonight. It
Yeah.
lasted longer. I think it's the right track prep for tomorrow night's 50 lappers.
Yeah.
It might have stayed a little too fast, a little too long. But I looked at the tires. The tires weren't worn out. Last night they were down to the cords.
Yeah.
So last night's track rework would definitely not work for a 50 lapper like we're going to have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does tomorrow's, what do they go 25 and have an open red? Is that the plan?
Yes.
Or is that what the deal is?
Yeah.
So just like the Knoxville Nationals?
Yeah. Remember we did that last year, and
Is that when you had the flat tire?
Then you came over and said, "Hey, you have a flat tire."
Yeah. This isn't gonna work.
Yeah, you can't race with that.
Okay, so back to Tanner Holmes.
Yeah,
He was rolling in the feature.
Yes, I think he started front row and kind of fell back, but then like past Justin Sanders like
was-
legit.
Sanders
on
was
this
gone.
Restart.
Getting great starts, and as soon as I
And
told you,
yeah, right when you
I'm
said
like,
that.
man, watch Justin. He's getting some epic starts. And then Holmes drives by him on the restart.
we didn't call restarts very good because you
No.
asked me about the last restart too,
Oh yeah.
and I got that wrong.
So Holmes is going to win the race. I mean, the 57, Courtney's on his ass, and he's driving away from him.
Jesus,
Wow.
leave it there. Leave it there. Don't touch it.
And he's actually driving away from the 57, which you don't see too often. And he's coming out of turn 4 for the checkered, and Caleb Henry tips over. Red flag comes out, and he's got to do one more restart.
Right, it's the right call, right?
I believe it was the right call, absolutely.
Because they didn't. Nobody crossed the
No one
line
crossed
with
the
a
line.
checkered flag.
It
so-
sucks. I mean, if you're an
Yes.
18 guy, you want to say, hey, if the checker was out, just give it to him.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the checkered for Holmes. Brian Crockett's wrenching the deal. I like Brian. And it's just one of the... I mean, there's got to be a line in the sand. You got to have
know.
rules in place, and there's got to be some form of
because
a line in the sand.
they kind of did that the year Kyle Larson won this race.
Yeah, and it's funny you brought that up.
Him and Brad Sweet going into the last corner. They both about put each other in the wall. Brad Sweet goes flipping. Kyle brakes, but somehow limped the car, crossed the line, which he did cross the line, but then there's a checkered waving
Basically,
and a red
the
waving.
entire field's passing second
exactly,
place
because
on
they're
their
racing
lid.
to the checkered.
So me and Brian are talking about that.
we're
Tonight,
you
after
are?
the races,
Yeah.
and he goes, yeah, you know what's funny about that night? Okay, so we're talking about Brian Crockett. Brian Crockett's wrenching Tanner Holmes' car. So obviously Brian is a little frustrated that the checker did not stay
Sure.
out. So I'm like, well, a couple years ago when Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet happened, they kept the checkered out. And Brian goes, yeah, you know who ran second that night? Roger Crockett. Yeah, so
Roger's kind of gotten screwed. I feel like a couple of
so
trophy
it's pretty
cups.
funny. So in that deal, they restart that race. Roger's in the lead. 'Cause
Yeah.
Kyle's not restarting the race.
Yeah.
He's blown to pieces. And then if you drop the checker tonight, like they did 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah.
Tanner Holmes wins. So yeah, short end of the stick for the Crockett family. We got some points.
We got points. What do you want?
Okay, so let's hear the top 5 normal point guys.
Right now, like as
Right
is.
now,
Yeah,
with
the nor-
using best night.
Event, yeah.
Kyle Hurst, Courtney and Golovic tied. Oh no, Kyle and Courtney tied. But how the tiebreaker works is whatever your highest point night was, you use that qualifying time.
Okay.
So Courtney's higher points night is tonight, slower times tonight.
Yep.
Kyle's high point was last night, quicker times last night, so he has the tiebreaker. So Kyle, Courtney, Golovic, Day, Timms.
Okay. Give us if it was a double points night.
Courtney,
Okay.
Golovic, Holmes, 9R, Chase Randall,
Randall.
Hurst.
So, what, 3 out of
Day,
the 5?
Timms.
So, it almost kind of sort of doesn't really change much. That's crazy.
Well, it.
The cream still rises to the top.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously
I
would
think
change if you
yeah,
did
it
the
would
top
change
20.
quite a bit. But what would also be interesting about that is now you have more points that you're accumulating, so there's going to be bigger gaps.
Bigger separation.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's 555 to 539, where right now we're 278, 278.
right.
So then tomorrow, we run heat races to give them more points.
So the
So
drama
if you're
would,
adding 3 points to someone who already
be
has a
less drama.
20-point lead, who cares?
You
So
think it'd be
You could
less
finish-
drama?
I think it would be
Seventh
less
and
drama
eighth races
tomorrow
in
night
the high
because the
point
point
game.
spreads are so big.
Well, okay. So I agree with you there. I do feel like,
And we like drama.
yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah.
I mean, I'm up there rooting for crashes. I'm literally the legit ass race fan this weekend. I want more crashes. So far, this trophy cup's pissing
You
me
got
off.
him tonight.
No, I want more crashes.
Hardly any.
Hardly any. We're like at like 7 or 8 flips. I
How?
want to see 25 flips at least.
How do
This is
you,
coming
as
from
a
a
car
car
owner
owner.
driver,
I'm a fan. I'm strictly a fan this weekend.
No carnage.
I want carnage. I want fights. I want steering wheels thrown at each other. And I'm so far very disappointed.
Dang.
Sounds like a
Cutthroat
promoter.
over
You want to
here.
sell beer.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. He's not a car owner.
I did
he's
see
a promoter.
TK got a little jiggy tonight. He was mad at Caleb Henry for something in the heat race, and then
Or Montgomery.
yeah, what I
Montgomery.
I thought you said
Montgomery,
Henry.
and I thought,
Caleb.
oh yeah, so it was Caleb Montgomery in the 2K, and I thought it was a good race. I never really saw what Tim was mad about, but did you see this heat race?
I think
Yes.
I was in the heat race.
Oh, was that your heat race?
Yeah. I was way in the back.
Tim was doing
From
this
ninth to-
under the
That's
yellow or under the checkered, and then I think Bud saw him, so Bud starts going up and ramming the 2K. And
Oh,
it's like,
really?
poor old Caleb's out there, like, dude, I just ran a good heat race. What are you guys mad about?
they yelled at him on the radio. Hey, you two, knock it off, because they were going
Oh,
off
did
the
he say?
track.
Did he say you two?
You
'Cause
two,
I
knock
thought
it
he
off.
said the two. Hey, the two, knock it off.
You too, like
You two, knock it off, because they were like going
I think
to.
Caleb
All the
was
way,
literally
brake
just
checking
minding his
coming
own
off the track,
beeswax,
yeah.
just like, dude, what's the problem?
Because I thought on the receiver they were saying the two. Don't do that.
No,
the
the
two.
two
You
wasn't doing
two,
anything.
knock it off.
That's funny.
Okay, so let's talk about other crap that happened tonight. Apparently, something flew off of a car in the B main and went through DJ Neto's car and hit his collarbone.
Yeah, I heard he doesn't have a rock screen, which might
Gotta
have
have a
helped,
rock
but
screen.
still, it's a big piece of lead. It's gonna blow through that, but it would
It
have
would have slowed it down, is my opinion.
slowed it down for sure. But
Well,
We
so-
don't know. We don't know.
Okay, so we're going to tell you the rumors. The rumors was a chunk of lead. Here's another rumor: is there's people out there that are running aluminum blocks. If you run an aluminum block, you got to run lead to make weight. So it all kind of makes sense. And apparently, DJ has a broken collarbone in a couple places. So I'm going to assume we won't see the 88 tomorrow.
jeez,
Your seatbelts go right here on
Yeah.
your collarbone.
Sean broke his collarbone when he was 10, and he still has like a weird.
I still have a
Really?
hump on my
Well, what can you do
collarbone.
with it?
Same.
They just
Yeah.
have to heal on their own.
Right.
You can't cast them. You can't.
Yours at Chico and had problems afterwards.
I did. Well, I don't know what the hell that even means, but yeah, the chiropractor said I had a dislocated collarbone.
That's weird.
You know,
Dislocated
You know
from
how you-
what? It's just kind of sitting there. Right?
don't ask me, but that frickin' Hans device screwed me up every time I crashed with it.
Hate the ones, right?
I don't.
I have
Maybe
a Hans, I
don't wear it.
either.
What? Guess what? Now when I crash, I don't get hurt. It's great.
I know. Like, it's fantastic.
Would just a neck roll
I
have
just have a
protected the
neck roll.
collarbone from a piece of lead?
I mean, if you're a safety industry guy, they'll probably tell you that neck roll does absolutely nothing. But
There
Fine with me.
are a couple times, a couple big crashes that I had wearing the Hans where I did hit something straight on, like into the wall, and didn't feel anything after that. So I do think it probably did its job in that sense.
in that
but
sense, but what you guys normally crash is not
our
normally straight on.
rollovers,
It's up
a
down.
Hans device isn't really.
Yeah.
you know what
Gonna
those are
help
good
that.
for is screwing up your shoulders.
Yeah.
My shoulders have been
Dislocating
yeah,
collarbones
my shoulders
over
have been
here.
screwed up ever since I started wearing that thing. What the hell were we talking about?
Oh,
Oh, DJ Neto.
Lead.
Yeah. So yeah, Neto, I don't think will be back tomorrow. That's pretty scary. And that's kind of funny because Tony Gomes ran over a piece of lead at Hanford 2 weeks ago, ripped his oil tank out. What's going on with this lead situation? I'm gonna get this lead.
Well, that was happening. We were asking, are we bringing a backup ambulance? Do we have another backup ambulance on the way? And then they told us he's going to go on his own. And then over the radio, can we get the ambulance to the 69 pit?
Oh yeah. So Mark Briscoe, Bud's crew chief, and he was Statler's guy forever. After the B main, I think he got run over by somebody, a mule
On
or
a
a quad
quad, I
or a
think I
50
heard.
or I don't know. But I came up to him and they were picking him off the ground, and I went and talked to BF afterwards. I'm like, hey, is he okay? He said, oh yeah, he just pulled a muscle. He's been like that all day. I'm like, no, I think he literally just got run over. And BF was like, what? So yeah, he was gimping around, and that was after Bud had an epic run from 17th-ish. Yeah, he was on the gas.
17 from the B,
Yeah.
but he started 24th in the A. 24th to 7.
14th in the B.
14th to 3rd.
To
That
third.
was a great run. And you know what was cool about the B is they were like legit doing two
Yes,
line, like
that's what you
Races.
were talking about
Hugging the
yesterday.
bottom, array
There
up
was
top.
no
Yep.
2-line racing. There was like, you were either on the wall, or if you were going to make a pass, you had to do a death slider on somebody.
See, now that's the old timer in me. I enjoy that type of racing, and I enjoy watching that. But I mean, there were some guys slowing way down
Yeah.
and hugging the bottom, and you got somebody else way up top
Right.
doing 180 miles an hour, and they'd come off even. It was just like the
Yeah.
tale of two potions there. Which one do you want to take? But
Right.
that was entertaining to me. I really liked that. But let's see. I wanted to see one more thing, and I can't even remember what it was. So it must not have been very important.
No.
Oh well.
Are you done with me now?
Well, let me ask you this,
Okay.
actually. There was a restart in the B main where everybody was in line coming off of turn 4, and Tanner Carrick was way up top.
Right.
And I thought maybe Bud passed him before the cone.
So no.
It was, okay, I'm sitting down turn 1, I can't tell.
But Tim's got called for a jump in the A because you can get out of line, but you have to be nose to tail when you cross the flag stand.
Okay.
So as long as you're back to nose to tail,
No position.
no position gain, no penalty. If you are side by side with someone
course.
when you cross the the flag stand, that is a jump. Even if you don't advance a position.
I don't like them letting them out of line because I
It's
just
hard to
think
watch.
it screws everything up. Because let's just say 5th place goes way up there. What does 6th, 7th, and 8th do?
Yeah.
And what if 5th place fucks up and he doesn't get a good run, and now you're 6 car lengths behind the cars in front of you? I say pass him.
I think Caleb
Well, you
Henry
called for
was
the
doing
jump.
that. Caleb Henry was doing that like all night, and Shane was right behind him. So I'm watching just to make sure they get back in line. I'm watching the
Right.
screen to make sure they don't gain position. And it's like Shane almost looked like he had to like back off
Yeah,
a little
you do
bit
it because you're
down
now racing
there.
like this.
Yeah.
You're looking
Yeah.
up instead of looking where you're supposed to go, just to see. You're trying to time it the best you
there
can.
were 3
Maybe
or 4 guys that were
I
doing
should go to the
that.
driver's meeting tomorrow and just speak up, even though I have no dog in the fight. So
Ah.
this is what we should do tomorrow.
I like the fact that you can go wherever you want.
You like that?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I think it just adds another element of bullshit.
Well, Rat, I think he is in agreement. He doesn't like it, but he almost says it looks cleaner when everybody's nose to tail. And yeah, it looks cleaner, but if you want to get a run, like, you should be able to do that if you want to.
Okay, so let's say I wanted to get a run, but I dick up and I hit the wall, and now what? What does 6th place do? Does he just wait for me
Yes,
to get my shit?
You have to.
I say fuck it. You messed up. I'm going by you.
Nope.
What if you're right behind someone and they're motor sputters? You can't pass them.
Are you gonna follow him and dick up yourself and get into the wall too? Then
The motor guy, the guy with the motor
No,
problem.
you're-
no, I'm
your
just
issue
saying.
first.
Yeah,
Oh.
your issue.
No, I'm gonna mind my P's and Q's and stay in line. And if dipshit up here f's up, I'm gonna drive by him anyways.
So cool thing happened to me actually at this year at Gold Cup, because we had a couple restarts, and didn't you notice that they moved the cone
They
to
did
like
change the cone,
turn
yeah.
4? Like it was way inside, like way before the flag stand.
It changed
Yes.
from where it was one time to the next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think I had Croft and Tanner Carrick in front of me, and I think the leaders were using the high line, and they would dive down to the bottom, try to get some moisture and get a run. So they did that one restart, and I was right behind them, and I'm all, well, I'm going to stay in my high line and try to get a run on them, basically. Well, they moved the cone on them, so they went down, and then they're like, oh, they had to take a hard right.
Made a Z out of the
I
front
passed both
stretch.
of them because, like, I got past the cone behind them, but I had a run. I think I might have almost slid to you at that point. I think you were like 8th or so, and I slid them too and got right behind you.
I
was
think
like,
that's kind of funny
was
that
perfect.
they called an audible in the middle of a race. Like,
It was
now we're gonna do this
interesting.
now. You guys want to dick around? We're gonna try this.
Yeah.
I would be a good DOC because I would screw around. Maybe I just put the cone in the backstretch one time. As they're going by the front stretch, I'd say, hey, we're going green. And by the way, the cone's now in the backstretch. Lights out.
Good luck.
What, did Skagit do that?
Yeah, Skagit did that at the Dirt Cup this year, yeah.
He started with
Yeah,
back.
they didn't surprise everybody. They told them.
No,
it
I'm
was
going to
be
surprise
there,
them, yeah.
Did you walk around anybody's like cars or anything after they?
Yes.
Did you happen to hear anything about any fuel?
Like running out of fuel?
I wondered how close it was.
Oh.
So, no, if you're wondering, Caleb Montgomery did not run out of fuel.
Okay.
His motor just shut off.
Okay.
So it's funny you bring up the crank
Maybe
trigger.
it's a crankshift or
I
something,
went
or
over there to ask
switch.
him what the problem was, curious about fuel, and he said the motor just shut off, and he started asking me about, hey, what was your problem? I know your motor just kept shutting off. So he does have a crank trigger as well. So these freaking crank trigger, these motor builders love these crank triggers, and all they do is cause problems. I hate them. But anyways,
So we go laps, like we count total laps, so I can like. So this shows
how
like.
many laps did we go?
Um,
Can you tell us? Should you tell us?
So this shows passing. So like every time.
How about I just read it?
Someone crosses
and
a
you don't
line.
have to say.
Some,
Just tell me because I can't see.
well, I have to.
Press score.
I know. I have to find the score
Press
button.
lineup.
Basically, I think we're getting
Who should
inside information from the scorekeeper that we might have been close on laps. Is that what you're saying?
Who should? Okay, so
I think the
do you know
number
what's
is
really
70,
funny though?
right?
That number 70.
70 like
Ish.
Total.
total.
70 total laps.
Green flag, yellow flag laps.
But here's
and
the
then
thing.
they'll call red for fuel.
Open red.
But here's the thing. You guys are not all the same,
Right.
and you do not all save fuel. You do not all fill up your tanks. All like not everybody does all the same stuff.
Some cars, the
In
first
this,
car to push
I
off.
do not
some cars the
understand why
last.
anybody doesn't fill their tank to the rim. Fill the what is it? That old coffee commercial. Fill it to
Paul
the rim
Haas.
with brim.
We're doing his tribute race next week, right? Paul Haas.
The Spooktacular at Marysville. Yeah.
Isn't that his? Are they calling it his memorial race?
Yeah, it's
too?
a tribute to Paul Haas, but then it's always been on Halloween weekend, so they call it the Spooktacular.
So he was the promoter at Marysville, and he always made that point. Like, we are not having a fuel red. I don't care how many laps we go, so you better fill it to the top.
And let me tell you, there's some nights where you had to have a full tank at Marysville.
Absolutely.
Are you going to tell us how many laps we went, or are you just going to filibuster?
Oh, you have to count?
Hey,
Oh,
okay,
jeez.
do you have any interesting information to tell tonight?
No.
No, not at all?
Mm-mm.
About 2023?
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay.
70. Shane Golovic went 70 laps.
Shane Gold.
Okay, so we were
I have
right.
to
70
count
laps.
all the flags
We
because
were
that doesn't
right
count as a
on
lap.
and-
Even though I hit the score button and the computer does the rest, we actually do
so you
hit
probably
flags.
went more than.
We
in that
always pick
sense.
people who we think like
Yeah.
probably like would push it to the limit, that they would fill up all the way, and then they would like
But also are conserving.
But also are
under
conserving,
yellow,
so,
under
like-
yellow.
yeah.
Hmm.
Like I probably wouldn't count because you know you've ran out of fuel like leading races and stuff.
Oh,
See me.
that's.
I was
low
23
blow.
car.
I feel like
that
that
was
was
a
a
long
low
time ago.
blow.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
still sad.
That was like 04.
That was
Leave me
good.
alone.
Good for me.
Yeah.
So we got big
It's
news
not already
for the
birthday?
shark, but you don't want to tell. You don't want to spill the
I don't
beans.
have news.
I think you got news, but I mean, you
we'll
know,
see. We'll see.
hopefully it's good news.
Hopefully, it's great news.
Good
Connection.
There we go.
Oh, we're back on. We want to be done anyway. So good night. See you tomorrow. And
Gonna be an epic
Oh.
trophy cup.
dunk tank contest tomorrow. If you hate drivers, certain drivers, come and dunk them.
Are you getting dunked?
Well, I don't know. Nobody hates me, so nobody was going to want to dunk
Everybody
me.
hates you.
But yeah, so Country Builders is putting on
He's
the dunk
not a
tank thing,
driver.
and they're going to be dunking people. Shane Golovic, Tanner Holmes,
Selzy,
Dominic Selzy. You know what?
Montgomery.
About Selzy, yeah, Montgomery. The first time Dom goes in there, all the water's going to splash out. There won't be no water left.
Oh, jeez.
I'm
talk
joking.
about a low blow.
I'm just joking because he's fat.
Well, they did a joke. They joked about him at the pit meeting too.
But what?
Hey, I mean,
Rat made a joke at the pit meeting. What was
was
it
it?
about? It was something
it's
about.
almost one. Dom ain't gonna watch this. Who gives a shit?
I think he was telling us about the tacos. Yeah, there's Taco Bravo tacos at the at the pavilion after the races. But if Dom's there, they might all be gone.
All right, we're done. Leslie just got back. We don't want her messing up our show.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna push finish this time.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
it.
finish.
I'm gonna
Good night.